moving teams about and playing like Pep Guardiola's Manchester City, Nathan. So they're really in a deep philosophical crisis at the moment, and therefore to win the league and win the cup tells you a huge amount about the individual quality and the man management of Valverde. Last week, for example, Luis Suarez served up a hat-trick too, hat-trick of assists. Now, he's a goal scorer. So his commitment to Messi, his commitment to winning rather than scoring, his belief in the coach has been paramount. There's a really, really big phrase Iniesta offered in explaining why he's retiring. He said, I'm no longer able to give everything to this club, to be at my best. So it's time for me to walk away. He understands that although he wants to stay and his ability hasn't diminished, he's playing in a team where the ball is going to be moved about less well, less held less intelligently. There's going to be a lot more running, and that's the thing he's not capable of, and that's why he's moving on. Cash in China aside. So if we talk about the title win, it's fine, and it sets up a Clásico this weekend where the Spanish title winners are playing what I think will be the three-time Champions League winners. Now, you two will have your opinions, but we're at a crossroads in what's regarded as great. Real Madrid's players set out half-heartedly to defend the title. They wanted to win in Europe again. Barcelona's players set out with grim determination to win their title back, and they think greatness lies in 7 titles out of 10. Real Madrid's players, fans, president absolutely believe that greatness lies in 3 consecutive Champions League wins. Now, you know, you pay your money, you take your choice. I don't know what your listeners think. I don't know what you two think. For my money, I show respect to Piqué and Busquets and Alba and Suarez and Messi who wanted the league title. But in my opinion, the tide of European football opinion is moving against them. And I think that this Clásico comes up with them having, listen lads, did you know that they've won 3 of the last 11 Camp Nou Clásicos in all competitions? That's an incredibly bad record at home to Real Madrid. Now, I think that if you watch the way in which Madrid hustled Bayern Munich off the stage, they were absolutely knackered, if I can use that Spanish word. Therefore, I think that as competitive as Madrid are when they come here on Sunday, trying to end Barcelona's unbeaten record, trying to take some of the shine off Barca's title, as good as they are maybe for the first 45 minutes, hour, I think Barca win this. I think they break the trend of losing at home. I think they have more energy. It will matter more to Barcelona. Real Madrid's minds will be, they'll be 4 or 5% on Kiev, and therefore I think we've got a Clásico without a guard of honour. There's still the big argument about Barca. The last time one of these sides in the Clásico had wrapped up the title and the other one, you know, was hosting the Clásico, it was 2007-8. Madrid were hosting the Clásico. Barca had to come out and give a guard of honour. Madrid are not going to return the favour this time. That will add a little bit of bad blood. It's going to be a Sunday full of tension. It'll be full of other agendas. I bet you again, but it's the biggest game in the world because it's always good, full of good football. And it'll be Sky's last live Clásico the way it looks.
You've touched on probably so much there, Graham, that maybe I want to get into, I suppose, as well. The issue around Barcelona's squad and what they're going to do. Iniesta, I never got a chance to speak to you about him last week and how much I've just loved him over the years. I still think one of the best performances I've seen from Iniesta was actually in the Euros in 2012 when he played against Ireland. I just thought he was incredible that night. But just something you've touched on there about maybe Real Madrid's other mindset might be and probably will be on that Champions League final. Can Zinedine Zidane afford to play what many would perceive to be a weakened side in this big game? And if they lose heavily, would that go against him? Or is it simply just concentrate now on that Champions League?
It's a fair question. Kev, you're right. He's, for all his elegance, for all his smiles in his press conference, for all the wonderful procession towards silverware since he took over, he's a competitive man from the hard streets of Marseille. He will want to win, he'll play to win, but his hand may be tied behind his back. I don't think Isco or Carvajal are going to make it in time. If you look at the way in which Varane finished, Varane nearly came off after 15, 20 minutes, remember? I think it's a risk that he plays. I'd be a little bit surprised if Modric plays. I think that we're almost by default going to see, you know, that B.5 team. I think that when you see the 11, listen, we're talking on Thursday night. The game's on Sunday night. For true, gritty, hard men, there's the possibility to twist the kaleidoscope and come up with another picture by Sunday afternoon, and Zidane may change his mind. As we speak, I think that the 11 he's imagining, Kevin, would miss 4 names that you would say automatically were his first choices, and I don't think they can afford that.
Just on the greatness of these two teams then, and if Barcelona can go through the entire season unbeaten, Graham, I know you have so much love for that Barcelona team that won the Champions League in 2009 and 2011. Is this greatness then, if we're looking back in a decade's time at this Barcelona side, is it all going to be about the greatness of Lionel Messi and the team is sort of secondary?
It doesn't need to be. I think that, whichever order you place them in, and the biggest argument I've got in my judgment that Xavi's the best is with Xavi, who always says Iniesta's the best.
Oh, Iniesta. It's got to be Iniesta. It's got to be.
Tell me why.
Ahead of Messi.
Oh, well, no, maybe not ahead of Messi, because I think Messi, maybe exaggerated.
Between the two, Kevin. Between the two.
Between Xavi and Iniesta?
Yeah.
Well, I think you're looking at... I think Xavi had a brilliant knack of controlling a game. I think he could up the tempo of a game. He could slow it down whenever necessary. But Iniesta, I think he had the ability to do what Xavi could do. I think his passing ability was second to none, but also had that ability in tight areas to sprint away from players, to get away from players with his technical ability and his dribbling ability, but also had that ability getting around the penalty area when driving at defenders to pick a pass, whether that be to a Messi or whoever one of the forwards, Suarez, whoever it's been over the years. And I just think the all-round midfield player, I think Iniesta defines that Barcelona midfield. So
Nathan, if you listen to Kevin, that's why I brought him in, because he knows better than me. But seriously, if you ask that question again, so already that can't only be about Messi, because it has to be about Iniesta, and for my money, Xavi too. And whether you think that Alves is in the same bracket, no player has ever won any more trophies than Dani Alves, which tells you something about the mix of his brilliance and his attitude and his winning mentality. And if you throw in Pep Guardiola from the era 2008 to 2012, you're starting to build a cast. You're starting to get the band back on the road.
Yeah, I guess. Sorry, Graham. I guess I'm talking more about actually this current unbeaten season Barcelona.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
You're right now. I mean, okay, so if you look at
he's really right, Graham. He's really right, but he may have a point there. I'll give him one thing there, I will.
If you ask the other players, they'd say yes. Messi is their leader. He's the leader of the club as well as on the pitch. He does everything. He assists, he plays midfield, he'll do a share of pressing, he scores, he produces the big moments. But the thing we've learned most this season is that if Messi's at it, if the on switch has been flicked, everybody else raises their game. If he's not there and he comes on, it isn't simply that he turns the game on his own. You actually watch his teammates, and I'm not being pejorative about them, I'm not putting them down. It's a human, natural reaction. If he's not there and they're not playing well, they don't see a way to turn a game around. He comes on and they're like, yeah, anything can happen now. I'm in now, fully in. So this season has been about that. You can name other heroes, we don't have to now. But in my understanding of things, in the first half of this season, they didn't have a proper rival. Real Madrid need to be talked about differently now because they play a brand of football which doesn't relate to the style we've been talking about. But the way they relaxed in the first half of the season and drew at home to Levante and drew at home to Valencia and lost at home to Real Betis and blah, 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 that was rust. And it was temporary because since January, they've won more points than Barcelona domestically. It's only by one, but they've outplayed Barcelona. And in the first half of this season, nobody would shut up shop and say, listen, I'm taking an 8-week holiday. They were knackered. Lucas was in a bad mood because he didn't get picked for the Cardiff final. They sold their own players. Some of the youngsters couldn't acclimatise. I have no wish to tarnish Barcelona's title. You win, you beat what's in front of you, you win while you can. But Real Madrid are more of a rival to Liverpool than I've been hearing people in Britain and Ireland saying, because this season they lost that. This season they haven't been very good. If you've watched closely, there's a reason why that is. And they're very tired right now. They looked tired and they were ragged. It was strange that you could understand what Zidane asked Kovacic to do. And also he went all out. It was Hagler Hearns on Tuesday. It was literally, none of this posturing. Zidane just went, we're going to go at you and we're going to outplay you. And that's how we're going to win. Eventually, they did on aggregate. Casemiro will come back and give them strength. When I hear even ex-pros that I respect on radio in Ireland or television in Ireland and England saying Real Madrid's defence hurt, that's not true. Real Madrid play a brand of playground football by Zidane's ordering, which is, we'll score more than you. Their defence is not poor. It's that their defence are told, play like wingers. Carvajal high, or Lucas the other day. Marcelo scoring and making goals every season in the quarter, in the semi, and the final. Casemiro scoring in the final last season. Madrid, that Liverpool face, Nathan, in my opinion, are vulnerable in certain areas. Right now, look like they're physically pretty drained. They'll need to rest between now and Kiev. They've got more games than Liverpool. But Real Madrid are a far better side than they've shown domestically. Therefore, Barca's gap on them is false. And those who've only looked at the Juventus home game and the relatively poor away game in Bavaria and say Real Madrid are there for the taking, they're wrong.
It's still Atletico Madrid 1, Arsenal 0, 10 minutes left in that, so Atletico leading 2-1 in aggregate. Salzburg have scored a second against Marseille, so that one is 2-2 in their Europa League semi-final. Just before we were talking to you, Graham, we were playing a clip of Kenny Cunningham from last night talking about how Real Madrid may line up for the final and the big decisions that Zidane faces. Kenny felt that Bale and Benzema wouldn't start, that he couldn't afford to start the two of them in this game with the way Liverpool play. How much of Zidane's planning do you think will be, we're Real Madrid, we're looking to win this tournament 3 times in a row, I will pick the 11 I think can go out and take this game to Liverpool and win this game? And how much of his thinking do you think will be based around Liverpool are devastating with a front 3, I need to counter that? How do you think he'll get that balance?
It'll be balanced between those two positions. Number one, Zidane, I think, won't be famed for strategic brilliance in his first 2.5 seasons. He may become a strategically excellent coach, but that's not what he's had to rely on so far, and therefore he will pick a team to outplay Liverpool rather than to defend against Liverpool. The bets first of all, if Isco is fit, Isco will start in midfield. There will be 2 men up front. The big argument will be whether, as long as everybody's fit, let's exclude injuries. If Cristiano is fit, then it will be Cristiano Ronaldo and either Asensio or Benzema. And in midfield, it'll be your 3, Casemiro, Kroos, Modric, plus probably Isco. The normal back 4, which is Carvajal, Ramos, Varane, and Marcelo, Keylor in goals. And they will take the same proposition to Liverpool, whether Liverpool score in bursts or whether Liverpool defend better than they have in those 2 ties against Roma. And Zidane's bet will be that they have better quality in midfield, Real Madrid. Zidane's bet will be that their experience will win through. Zidane's bet will be that Keylor and Ramos, for example, prove again that they're far better defenders than people give them credit for. And one of the reasons that you can legitimately expect a brilliant final is that Real Madrid will go, not just to beat them, they'll go and they will try to outscore them dramatically, outplay them, and once they're ahead, they'll keep trying to score because that's their DNA. Under Zidane, it's been different. Under Mourinho, it was completely different. And this group love it. It's like saying to a racehorse, there's your hay, there's your partner, there's your carrot, and you get a good race out of the horse.
Graham, great stuff as always. We'll talk to you next Thursday.
Thanks, Graham.
See you, lads.
Graham Hunter there. Classico, Sunday evening, 7:45.
Yeah.
I'll be in Heathrow. Get it on the old Sky Go.
Yeah, why at Heathrow?
At Chelsea.
Oh,
Liverpool.
sorry.
Live commentary and Off the Ball, Kev. Right after you do Manchester City Huddersfield.
Yeah, sorry, no, I wasn't even
and
thinking
the title
that.
presentation.
I just didn't realise we were. Yeah, I'll look forward to it, actually. I look forward to the game, so I'll be in for that one as well, yeah, so it'll be good.
All right, we will chat to Graham again next Thursday evening. So Arsenal have 5-6 minutes left to somehow save Arsene Wenger's legacy or change his legacy or do something.
Yeah.
All the accounts so far is that they're not doing anything. They haven't laid a glove on Atletico Madrid in this game and they trail by a 1-0. 1 goal though, one moment would send it to extra time. We'll bring you through to closing stages next.
Off the Ball on News Talk.
Now I have to fill in this address form on a mobile. Ugh, I don't have time for this. The longer it takes to enter address details online, the higher the card's abandonment rate. Fact. And with an increase in mobile transactions, rapid address capture is now essential. By auto-completing the address or error code, auto-address saves up to 91% of keystrokes, increasing your sales and customer satisfaction. Having clean, verified addresses with error codes ensures accurate deliveries, especially in tricky rural areas. It also helps with your GDPR compliance, capturing over 2 million addresses a week for our customers. Auto-address delivers, and it's a cinch to integrate, so IT will be happy too. For more details, visit autoaddress.ie.
What is it about the Plaza Group that makes it different from other motorway services? Is it the spacious, relaxing atmosphere, the genuine, warm welcome, or the amazing choice of Supermax, Papa John's Pizza, Super Subs, Max Deli, Bewley's Coffee, and Spar? Whatever it's about time you found out for yourself. Make your journey that little bit easier. The Plaza Group, a new era in motorway services. Open on the M7 Moneygall, M6 Lochray, Tipperary Town, Mallow, and Charlestown, County Mayo.
The new 100% electric Nissan Leaf. 0 to the world's best-selling electric vehicle in 8 years. 0 left to prove. Book your test drive today at nissan.ie.
Fatigue is a factor in 1 in 5 fatal crashes on Irish roads, so you simply can't ignore the signs. If you're feeling tired, you have to take action. Stop the car somewhere safe. Sip a coffee and sleep. Take a 15-minute nap. This will give you a little more time on the road, another hour or so. Remember, if you're feeling tired, stop, sip, sleep. But if you're chronically fatigued, a good night's sleep is the only cure. From the Road Safety Authority.
Off the ball. This is News Talk.
You're welcome back. This just sums Everton or Arsenal up, doesn't it?
I know. Well,
Europa League
but you know what as well, though?
Going out with a whimper.
But I think it sums Atletico up as well, doesn't it? You know, that approach where it's kind of, yeah, bring it on. We will be quite content.
Just don't let you have that spark at any stage.
We'll grind it through. They've been quite basic with how they've gone about it, particularly in the first half of Atletico. A lot of long balls, direct. No real quality in the game, but get the job done.
2-0 to Salzburg in the other game. So Salzburg and Marseille look like they're heading to extra time in that. Atletico Madrid will be overwhelming favourites. Yeah. No matter who they play, they're guaranteed their Champions League spot either way through their league position. But they're into the final couple of minutes there. Arsenal need to try and find something. I'm very interested to see what the reception is going to be like for Wenger. I was very surprised at the last game, which was the first home game since it was announced against West Ham, that there was no buzz. He came on to polite applause. There was a journalist asked a question in the press conference, how did you feel when they're all chanting there's only one Arsene Wenger? And quite literally every other journalist in the room went, when?
Really? Yeah.
When? And then I heard one piece played back for about 20 seconds from one section of the ground, and that was it. And
he got a great reception. He got a better reception at Old Trafford last weekend.
He did. And he had a bit of a pop at a certain segment of the fans who have the Arsenal Fan TV, who've really embarrassed the club in many ways, that there's no proper debate. It's all just over-the-top criticism. And that seems to have taken root around the club, that everyone almost has that feeling. So rather than Arsenal being this club of absolute class, who should be handling this brilliantly, and maybe they will, maybe they'll prove me wrong on Sunday, but it just doesn't feel as though he's going to get a reception appropriate to what he achieved over the first 10 years. To me, it feels he's walking out and everyone's going, well, here, good luck.
I know, but and can you imagine at the weekend, so all of a sudden now, Burnley probably won't finish ahead of them, even if they win the game because of the goal difference, but you never know. It puts pressure on them, doesn't it? Because Burnley and Arsenal haven't been great coming back off the back of these European matches. So if Burnley won, you know, as you say, it's soured anyway. It's soured because of what is happening here tonight. So it will be. It's just going to be. But this has been a slow decline for years now. That's been the thing. It's not. You know. Yeah. I think we're all hoping that with him actually, or with the announcement that he was leaving. Of course, it wasn't his decision. But with that announcement, that they get a bit of spark in these 2 games against Atletico, because this is what the season's come down to. Maybe going back to your point earlier on at the start, it is, I suppose, Arsenal, the way that it's gone for them tonight.
So we've 2 live games on Off the Ball on Sunday. First up, Kev and Ian Beach are going to be at Manchester City against Huddersfield. That one gets underway at 1:30. So they're going to be presenting the trophy to Manchester City after that game. Should be a decent atmosphere around the Etihad. And then at 4:30, we will have updates from Arsenal, Burnley, but our live commentary is going to be at Stamford Bridge. I'm going to be with Brian Kerr for Chelsea against Liverpool. that has a little bit more riding on it than we thought it would a month ago, because Chelsea win their game in hand next week. They'll go into the final day of the season level on points with Liverpool, albeit Liverpool have a far better goal difference, so they would probably need Liverpool to slip up against Brighton on the final day as well. But one eye on the Champions League final. So if Chelsea can go and win this, so it should be an interesting afternoon, and obviously Liverpool, you'd expect, will be a little bit tired. Yeah,
I think that's the thing that goes in Chelsea's favour, I suppose. That's the only thing. A point is enough for Liverpool, of course. I don't know, Liverpool got enough. I think Liverpool will do it anyway, regardless.
You think they'll find a little bit of energy and a bit of a buzz after
even if it's in the Brighton game. They've got 2 weeks till the Champions League final after that.
On tomorrow night's show, we're going to be joined in studio by Mick Kennedy, who's the vice chairperson of the DDSL, and Kieran Masterson, who is involved on the organising committee of the Lifestyle Sports Friendship Cup, which is taking place this weekend at the FAI headquarters in Abbottstown. Kieran Masterson, also father of Conor Masterson. So they were in studio today. We're going to play it out tomorrow evening. We chat about Conor's development coming through the DDSL from their Kennedy Cup side all the way to being on the bench for Liverpool against Manchester City in the Champions League quarter-final, and hopefully he goes on and makes his debut between now and the end of the season. One of the best prospects in Irish football right now. But the competition is on all this weekend, and they've got some brilliant teams out at it, including Liverpool, Manchester United, Chelsea, Bayern Munich and Ajax. They're going to be competing against a DDSL League team starting tomorrow evening, all day Saturday and Sunday as well. Out in Abbottstown, it's only a 15 quid for a weekend pass, £5 a day. It's the 75th anniversary of the DDSL. So we're going to play you out that interview tomorrow, where we chat about the changes in the underage football structure, how it affects the DDSL. Also going to look ahead to the tournament. We chat a bit about Conor Masterson as well. So that is well worth tuning in tomorrow evening after 7. Just time, Kev, to congratulate tonight's mystery voice. It was Paul McGinley.
I have to say, it was everything that it's made out to be. It is a special place, special atmosphere.
The Royal OK. The seal of approval from Paul McGinley. They could use that now. They can put that over their door.
Oh, yeah, can you imagine that?
It's kind of like that driving range down in Athlone that has Rory McIlroy, a giant picture of Rory McIlroy as their ad. And I drive past it every time. It's on the road, I think, between Athlone and Roscommon. And I do wonder, it must be a friend of Rory McIlroy that he said, yeah, fine, you can use my image. Because you really do feel, well, Rory McIlroy is given the seal of approval to this random driving range just outside Athlone. I hope I haven't outed them now and they're going to be getting a legal letter in the morning. I can't be the first person to have noticed this, though.
You've killed them.
So now Paul McGinley's quotes will be on all the advertising for the Royal Oak. You'll get
I'll bring him in. I'd love to bring Paul McGinley in for a pint of Guinness there.
There could be a series in that. Kev meets Paul McGinley in the Royal Oak down by the Snug. Oh, that'd be radio gold. So well done to Seamus O'Brien, who wins 2 tickets to Narcos, capturing Pablo. And if you want Alanis Morissette, I'm sure JP will sort you out for that as well. It is a live stage show. Apparently it's well worth getting along to. You also go into the end of week draw to win a fabulous trip for 2, return flights, 5 nights in the 5-star Venetian hotel, and €1,000 spending money. You could be off to Vegas with thanks to British Airways. Don't worry, if you missed out tonight, we'll give you another chance to win tomorrow evening. Tomorrow morning, OTBAM is live at 7:45. Rishtard Cooper from Après Match, a genuinely funny man, will be co-hosting with Adrian Barry, who considers himself to be Off the Ball's resident comedian. So it'll be a laugh a minute from 7:45 tomorrow morning. I think you're going to be on as well again, Kev. Former Cavan footballer Alan O'Mara will be talking to the lads from New York, where he's now based ahead of New York against Leitrim in the Connacht Championship this weekend. They'll have Andrew Brown from Connacht on the show as well. You can watch it all on facebook.com/Off the Ball, Twitter and YouTube. We will be back tomorrow night at 7. They are into the closing seconds.
Yeah, how are we looking there?
And it is still Atletico Madrid 1, Arsenal 0. They're into the final moments of injury time. Salzburg-Marseille is going to extra time. Richie will run you down through all of that right after 10. Tom Dunn is up next. Good night.